Hey, what's up? Hello, everyone. Welcome into Fantasy Filmball, the show where we turn movies into sports and sports into something we don't talk about here. My name is Matt.
My name is Dyl, and we are back for another year, another Fantasy Filmball draft. We have a whole slew of players all back from last year. So, Matt, why don't you kick us off, dive into this year's game?
Well, of course, we got Matt and Dyl, but we got four other players joining us here on Fantasy Filmball. First up, we have Arnaud.
Hi, great to be back. This time I will actually come in first place and not go down rankings like I did last time.
Then we also have Jonathan, aka the Film Drunk.
I think last year I said my goal was to beat Justin, so I did that, and I'm planning to do that again this year. Thank you.
You're coming for the full crown this year, right?
Sure, but that one's more important, yeah.
We got Justin, aka Brother Bro, here.
Good evening. My goal is to be beaten again so that I won't be disappointed.
Setting the bar low. And finally, we got Austin. Welcome, Austin.
I'm back. I'm no longer just an icon. I'm here for the
Finally, we see you. Welcome in. We are going to be doing our draft for the Fantasy Filmball League this year, which means each of us by the end of this session are going to have a team of 10 films. Those films are going to collect points through the award season, through their Metacritic score, their box office, and of course, through the nominations and wins that they collect across the season. This year, we do have an addition, and Dylan, I'm going to let you explain our quick rule addition to this year's game.
So if anyone's ever played any form of fantasy sports before, you'll definitely know what this is about. So in most drafts, you draft a team, that's your team. You don't go above that limit, but you have the option to pick up new players. But since we're talking movies, we can pick up new movies. So just looking to last year, for an example, we have our 10 original films. I took a movie called Broker. I was like, maybe it could get an international submission. It didn't. So I now have the option, if we're playing with that roster this year, to drop that movie and pick up a new one once we start our waivers. So last year, I would have picked up Goodnight Oppie, drop Broker. I keep my lineup of 10, but I have the chance to pick up a new movie. We just had Dune Part 2 get delayed, but let's say we drafted a day ago and someone picked that. They're not stuck with a 0 all season long. They have the option to replace that with a movie that actually gets points, or if you take an international movie or a documentary that doesn't get shortlisted, or you just pick a bust like I Want to Dance with Somebody from last year, you have the chance to replace that to not just have a complete stinker on your roster all season long.
Speaking of Dune Part 2, aren't we all glad that we're drafting today and not 2 days ago? Because one of us would have picked Dune first, and that would have sucked. So before we get into the game, how do you feel about the Dune move?
It's sad.
I was grieving yesterday, like pretty much all day I was grieving.
I'm just freaking out about the fact that a lot of stuff's going to get nominated or win, like that Dune isn't going to replace now.
Very confused about that March release date, but I'm hopeful that we will get the film in its right form when we get there.
Now, without further ado, we are going to be getting right into the draft. Now, the drafting order, as determined by last year's results, I will be going first, followed by the Film Drunk. Then Dylan will be going third. Austin will be fourth. Arnaud fifth. And finally, Justin in sixth. And it is a snake draft, so we'll be going back and forth all the way through. You're going to see on the screen behind me, I'm tossing up between two films here. I've had a lot of debate for the past few days. Having the first pick, it's a bit of a burden. I feel like I got to pick the right thing. I don't want to fuck it up. Last year, I got Everything Everywhere first, and that was right. But it wasn't just right. It was a film I'm really passionate about. The debate that I've had is, I know that Oppenheimer is probably the right film, but I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm not passionate about Oppenheimer. I wouldn't say I'm mixed on the movie. I think it's good. I just don't think it's great. And despite the fact that like right now in August, it looks like Oppenheimer is going to do extremely well. And in all likelihood, it probably will. I don't know if I want to have it on my team if I don't love it the way that I want to love a first round pick. So I don't know. I've been tossing up. Do I do the right thing or do I follow my heart? And I think I got to follow my heart because I am going to be picking Barbie first overall.
Second year in a row, we're handing over the win to Jonathan.
Wow. Let's go. Yes. That's a great pick, dude.
Wow.
Well, I think that makes it pretty clear what you're picking at number 2, Jonathan. So what is it?
Dune Part, yeah, Oppenheimer's mine. Thank you. Let's go.
Well,
You're
Oppenheimer's
welcome,
mine.
Jonathan. You're very
Thank you.
welcome.
Dude,
I don't think I deserved
appreciate you.
Oppenheimer on my team. I didn't deserve.
I really respect that because I remember doing some drafts where I was taking like Belfast movies that I just outright hated. So I respect that pick. And I'll take a little Oppie.
I think Barbie can win Best Picture. I do. I think it's going to win PGA. I think it's going to win Golden Globe Comedy. I think it has a chance at Critics' Choice. SAG Ensemble, WGA. That's a fucked up combo. Oppie, let's hear what's anyone thoughts on Oppie?
It's the right choice.
I'll say that we have a few drafts going among other people on the Discord. We have almost 10 drafts, and this is the first time that somebody has not picked Oppenheimer number 1. So the
That's kinda
perfect
also
average
why I
of being
did it.
picked as the first time is now broken. This is the very first draft we have this year where Oppenheimer is not being picked number 1.
Wow. I mean, hey, you called everything everywhere last year. Maybe Barbie works out. It's not a bad pick. That's a very good pick.
I think they're both going to return a lot of points because I'm predicting both to win like a few awards. But I mean, I wouldn't have gone in that direction just because I think Oppenheimer looks like it could steamroll and it has so many tech locks, especially now that Dune's not there. I mean, you're taking like at least 5 Oscars with like the technical categories, I think.
So Oppenheimer will win 5 Oscars just like Babylon will be nominated for 10.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, at pick number 3, I've had this trend. Each year we do this game. I whiff my first round pick, but then I knock out the park for the next 9 rounds. Last year, Bardo. The year before that, Nightmare Alley. The year before that, Mank Overpower the Dog. So this is my year to, right the ship. And I was really excited to, have Barbie be enough with my first round pick, but it's not looking like that. So there's a few options on the board. Obviously, Dune's gone. There's one movie I feel like could really, really overperform at the Oscars, but I'm not going to take that here because there's one movie I have to be smart here. I had to take the best thing on the board. I passed up on The Fablemans last year because I was like, it's going to get these nominations, but it's not going to win anything. And it did that, but it was still a top 6 score. And there's a movie this year that looks just like The Fablemans, where it's not going to be a top score, but it's still going to give me a lot of points. And that is Killers of the Flower Moon. Like a month ago, I would have loved to have Killers at pick 3. But like as we get further along, post Barbenheimer, it's very clear that those are the top 2. I would probably say Oppenheimer 1, Barbie 2. And I was really hoping that if Matt went Oppenheimer, Jonathan, that you would still go Killers. I would get Barbie at 3, but I'm not mad with Killers. There's worse picks to take here. It's not like I'm swinging for the fences, taking something completely off the rails at this pick. I got to be safe at number 3.
I mean, I think at worst, this is a Power of the Dog style contender where it doesn't win Best Picture. With all the precursors and all the nominations it's going to amass, it's still going to be an immense point tally. So you can't go wrong with this film.
So that brings us to Austin. Pick number 4. What are you going here? Because I know we previously talked a little bit and you were eyeing Dune, but Dune's gone now. So the board, it's open.
Yeah, thank God we did not do this draft 2 days ago. I was hoping one of those top 3, but obviously those are the easy top 3. So I'm not as confident in anything else that's on the board. I think there's still one film that has a good shot at some above the line nominations and wins. A film we've already seen that we know is good, I think is going to be a critical darling for the year. And that is Past Lives.
Good pick. I mean, right now, this draft's going kind of what we expected, but also just a little bit of different order. But I would say these are probably 4 if the top 5, top 6 movies. That brings us to Arnaud, though. Pick 5. What are you doing here? Because I feel like the pick that you really want is still here.
Yeah, thankfully it is. I would have loved to pick Oppenheimer, obviously, but that was not going to happen being 5th on the board. Having that in mind for the last 2 months, I've been really thinking about what I think I can realistically get and what I would like to get. There are 2 films I really want to get. And now that Dune is not here anymore, I'm almost certain that Brother Bro is going to take the other one I have in mind, whichever one I take. I'm going to take a risk here, but if I learned anything from last year, it's that I should trust films we already know are good instead of relying on festival films to explode. I think this film is going to be one of my favorites of the year. So I am going with a new film by Justin Triet, produit de l'exception culturelle française, Anatomie d'une chute, Anatomy of a Fall. That's right, baby.
I mean, that was the other one I was looking at 3. I feel like that would be a stretch to take that over Killers, but I think this is going to be one of our top scores here at number 5.
I don't think this has a shot at winning Best Picture the way Matt does, but I think this is a real threat for actress, maybe screenplay. Watch this get more nominations than we expect across other award shows too. I'm going to be even more bold. I'll say that Trier is the likeliest woman director to get nominated this year. More than Greta Gerwig, more than Fennel, more than Song.
So I agree that the lesson we learned from last year is that you don't want to bet on movies that you haven't seen. In a weird way, I feel like my best bet for movies that have been seen, I have like 2. Well, I have it depends on festivals. Oh, this is hard. 6 is the least easy. I think the top 4 would have been easy. I honestly think I'm going to go with Spider-Verse.
Wow.
Since we've seen it, I think it'll sweep animated feature, and that's not terrible. And that's
Love that.
kind of a given. And I think it has a chance of Best Picture, although I'm not like sold on it. I think it's still a better to go with as a rule that something I think could get nominated, even if I think it's on the fence, is a better bet than something I have not seen or that no one's seen. And then I think I'm going to go with something I haven't seen. I'll go with The Holdovers.
Okay,
Damn.
well, that would have been my second one, but
Well, I'm glad
I'll
that
give it to
people
you.
wanted that one, because with Spider-Verse, people didn't want it, and I said shit.
Just out of curiosity, if I were to have picked The Holdovers, would you have picked Anatomy of a Fall?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I would have picked that because I think there's a couple guaranteed nominations. Actress, it could start winning those prizes, so I think it's pretty valuable.
Okay, I would have
Respect
picked
for
that. I think,
Spider-Verse.
yeah,
Okay.
major. I mean,
Love that.
I don't know if it's even going to get nominated for Best Picture, but that's
Yeah, I don't know
credit
either.
for-
In my heart, I trust it will.
I'm a little worried, but
I'll say this. I know that at the time of recording, confidence has dropped for The Holdovers, but I still think this is the film that will win the TIFF People's Choice Award. I think this is Giamatti's Oscar. This is a SAG Ensemble nominee at least. But for my second pick, I kind of want a comedy here. I don't want this to be just a dour kind of draft. And I'm not even that confident in this film. I missed out on Oppenheimer. I missed out on Dune. I missed out on Barbie. I need a something that can give me craft support, something that's funny. The only thing that fits the bill at this point is Poor Things.
You broke my
So
heart.
that is what I'm taking. I don't even know if this is Searchlight's push. I'm not even confident this is getting a Best Picture nomination, but I feel like that's what I have to do with my team right now.
after taking Dune out of all categories, it did confidently enter a couple.
Yeah.
Like, it seemed kind of an easy fit for costume production design, even cinematography at this point.
The thing that I'm worried about is that I could see this going the way, it's not a greatest comparison, but going the way of Nope, in that it's like this really well-received critical darling that has a very big budget, but ultimately is just too strange, too divisive. Ultimately, even with these incredible technicals, it's just gonna be left by the wayside because the content of the film is inaccessible. I can see this being one of the biggest bombs at Venice, but I'll take the risk.
I feel like it might actually play really well at Venice. I think it's more like a Spencer, because how the hell doesn't that get nominated for anything except for actress?
It could be like Downsizing, where Venice loves it, and then everyone else is like, huh? What?
Yeah, that's true too.
Or,
yeah.
or it's Joker, where everybody hates it after Venice, but it still gets 11 nominations.
I have high hopes for Poor Things, and you got to remember, it isn't Nope. Searchlight put it in December.
But it used to be in September. Like if
Yeah,
it wasn't for the
but-
strikes, it would have been released in September. That's concerning.
But was it about the strikes? That's the question I have. Like, do we know that's why they pushed it, or is it because they're more confident in it now? Because Searchlight didn't move anything else.
We'll never know.
We'll know when people see it and if it's good or not. All right, Austin, hit us with your next pick.
Well, this is tricky because there's one film that looks pretty juicy in this spot, but it's Warner Brothers. I don't know if I trust them to not move it into 2024 like with Dune, but it has so much potential, not just for acting nominations, but acting wins and below the line potential. I think I just have to cross my fingers and hope that The Color Purple comes out in December like it's supposed to.
It's confirmed. They said that they're not pushing it.
For now. But
yeah,
For
that's
now.
true for now. That's a good pick.
Good.
I
I
know,
know
like-
it's got to get something, even if it's not good. It's got to get something for somebody.
Yeah.
If we were in this
like-
draft like a month ago, I feel like Color Purple would be like a top 3, top 4 type pick.
What happened? Is there something that happened? Because I feel the same way, but I don't know why.
I mean, for
With the
one thing, the
strike-
trailer kind of disappointed people.
The trailer.
I think, a
Oh,
little
the
bit.
trailer,
The
right.
trailer.
The trailer
for
was
sure.
the start of the
fair.
downfall. Also, the fact that Barbie was like this massive thing. Why I've taken Color Purple out of my picture lineup, despite having it at number 1 for months, is looking at the trailer reception, this is a movie that needs that populist appeal. It's got like 9.5 million views on YouTube. Compare that with like even Blue Beetle's trailer. And it's like, is this gonna be a flop? Is it gonna have that baggage?
It's going to be rough too if the actor strike is still going on then, because that's a movie that really needs those press junkets.
To be fair, you can still get Spielberg, Oprah, Quincy Jones out doing the press
Sure.
circuit, and you can still, solid buzz going just based on the producers of the film.
So that brings me here with pick number 10. And I was talking with Matt and Arnaud before we hopped on here about how last year I made like a little board of what I was hoping to get in each round. I got 7 out of my 10 last year. This year, I'm already 0 for 2. So do I go ahead and reach up for what I have in round 3? I hope that it can fall to me. There's one movie on the board I feel like I should take. I don't believe in this movie at all, so I'm not taking it. And I'm surprised it's actually still here. I'm going to be risky. I'm going to leave the one I went for round 3 and hope it stays. So I'm going to go with something here that I feel like, again, if we draft like a month ago, this is probably a first round pick, but it seems like Anatomy of a Fall is stealing this movie's hype a little bit, and that is The Zone of Interest.
Honestly, I can see this being like my favorite, if not like in my top 3 for the year. I hope you end up loving the film because you're gonna need that passion to push the film onwards, even when it fails to make award body after award body because it's so inaccessible.
I bagged Bardo all season long. I stuck to the bit. I can do it this year for another international contender or Zone of Interest. I'm rocking with it. But that brings us to Film Drunk. Last year, I messed up. I gave you Fableman. So let's see. Maybe did I mess up here by giving you the movie that I really want here at number 11?
No, dang, you guys got like boards already. I'm already like, I'm like, what do I
Slim
take here?
pickings.
There's one movie on the board I feel like I should take, but I actually don't think Matt would take it. And I don't even care that much if he does take it, to be fair. There's another one that I'm like, I could take that, but God, seems so boring to take. Gosh, I hear so many different things about this movie, but no risk it, no biscuit. You just got to take it. I'm going to take Saltburn, which I hear is good from test screenings. That really means nothing to me. But I've also heard that like this movie is good, but also it doesn't seem much of an Academy thing. Who knows if that's just people talking out of their ass. That's good enough for me. I'm going to take Saltburn there.
All right. That brings me to my next 2 picks.
Don't take it, Matt. Save this movie for me. Take what you're passionate about. Don't keep that trend going.
For one of my picks, I need to take one of the movies that I think Netflix is going to push. Because if we've learned anything in the past few years, it's that even when Netflix looks like they're absolutely shitting the bed, they got something. Even when Bardo and Glass Onion and everything else flops, they still get all quiet. I'm really torn between the two. I don't know which one to take. And I think, again, it comes down to what do I think versus what am I passionate about?
Passion.
I think
Passion.
I think I have to go with my brain here instead of my gut. I'm going to take Maestro.
Fuck.
That's-
Damn it. I was
that's
hoping
the-
it would come back.
That's the one I wanted instead of Zone of Interest. But I was like, I feel like I can wait for it because everyone shits on this movie, but
Yeah,
I
same.
feel like no matter what, it's still going to get those nominations.
Damn.
I was low-key
After Dune
hoping
left,
that I
I
could
put it in
maybe
my
get
top
that,
10 for
but-
Best Picture. So if this is
Damn, he
like,
got the picture loaded.
I think that, dude, I got everything. I got 60
everything.
pictures. No matter what, I can click on it. Yeah, no, I am a little bit confident in this movie at this point. I don't know. I know we've heard from test screenings that this movie is a little boring, but it seems like they reshot the shit out of this movie. Everything I've heard seems to be completely changed from whatever they're doing with it now. I don't know. And the fact that Netflix, this is the one award season trailer that they've put out like months and months and months away. So I don't know. I just have to trust my brain. The signs are pointing to Maestro, even if I want it to be the killer. No, I'm not taking the killer next. I am going to take the second place Searchlight contender that in my heart would be a big thing. And that is All of Us
God damn it.
Strangers.
I was counting on that.
Sorry.
Wah, 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 wah. Matt's just breaking all of our hearts today. So, Film Drunk, do you want to continue it? Do you want to take the other movie I'm sort of eyeing here and the start of round number 3?
I don't know what you could be eyeing. Well, let's see. I could go crazy here and take one that I just think would be good for content. I could do a very safe, even though I like the movie, a very safe, just boring pick, and we could just move on. See, I really thought Maestro was gonna come back because
I'm sorry, John.
Matt. Nah, hey, it's all good. Gotta do what you gotta do. I don't mind saying the movies out loud. Do I believe in the killer as a Fincher boy? This is the one thing with Filmball where I'm like, in these rounds, do I go for Oscar still or just a good movie?
Every year, we're in round 3 right now. This is the prime spot where you get the films that then emerge later on as Best Picture players. Last year, John, this is where you got Banshees.
This is where I got Banshees. You know what? Fuck it. There was a bidding war for this movie, and I'm gonna take Ferrari. I'm gonna take
Are you
Ferrari.
fucking kidding
I'm gonna
me?
take Ferrari here. Let's
Over
go.
fucking 3.
Let's go.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna take Rari for the content, and
Uh,
who knows? Dune is out. There's some text it could
There-
maneuver its way
Yeah.
through. Adam Driver is going to the Venice Film Festival to promote it because he is allowed to. There was a bidding war between A24 and Neon. I'm just gonna take Rari.
Good,
Yeah.
good picks there. You know, you can't win them all here. My pre-draft board was Barbie, Poor Things, Ferrari. Top 3 rounds, 0 for 3 on those. So you know what here? I'll be crazy here. Netflix, they have other movies out here. And if it's not Maestro, I think this would be the one that they would go with. Makes no sense on paper, but you know, stay true to your heart here. May December, come join the squad.
That was
Nice.
another choice of mine. Yeah, good pick.
I mean, it's
I'll trade you May December for
excellent
Ferrari
pick.
though.
I'm good.
All right, Austin, you're up here. And I feel like a lot of movies that you just want just flew off the board.
Dude, I wanted All the Strangers so bad this
Oh,
round.
but you would have
God damn
taken it anyways.
I would have,
Oh.
yeah. Jeez, do I really want to take another Netflix movie? We're all just playing Russian roulette here. It feels like we don't know what they're gonna do. I think I'm gonna go for a film that I think I feel more confident about it than other people do. I think it's playing at Telluride, which gives me a lot more confidence. And it could follow the thing that Matt has been talking about with directors who have never directed a Best Picture nominee, and that is Jeff Nichols' The Bikeriders.
Going
Wow.
early, but I like it.
Wow.
Let's get Austin Butler that Oscar that he was robbed of last year.
Thank you. At least someone agrees with me. All
Never
right.
mind. Not a good pick.
All right, Arnaud. Like you said, All of Our Strangers is gone. Some other key stuff is gone. Do you want to keep this Netflix running, or are you gonna go elsewhere?
Matt, you're really smart. I think it's going to be a big one. I was counting
I
on
do
like
too.
taking both Searchlight films so that I'm guaranteed like a Best Picture nomination if they pivot from one to the other. This is not at all what I anticipated. There's a pick I really want, and I don't think that Justin will take it. Screw it. I'll keep the Netflix streak. I'll go with The Killer. It was not
Yeah.
my intention to grab it, but still on the board at this point, so why not? And I think pick I really want next is going to come back to me.
All right, Justin, here you go. You had the chance to morph him. Go ahead and take what he wanted.
This is tough. I don't know if I should still be predicting Best Picture or not. At this point, I don't know if I should go for something that's like, oh, I think that could get Best Actor. Well, I'm gonna take Air, I guess.
Dang it.
Because technically that's what would be next on my Best Picture list. Maybe like if 0 films from the festivals took off, we'd just see Air in Best Picture. Who knows? Do you think it's lucrative to try to predict like how? Oh man, I'm
Follow
gonna
your heart.
take Beyond Utopia.
Wow.
So I'm
Nice.
glad that Arnaud now can tell us what he was thinking.
There's a lot of hate for this film, especially when the trailer came out. This is going to be at least a huge Golden Globe player. Wonka. Wonka's going to be big.
Ooh,
Ooh.
Arnaud's going
Wow,
Wonka
what a
early.
bet.
Wow.
You were
Wonka.
right that I would never have taken that. Not even on my short list or on my long list.
I really think it's interesting with this movie because like across our leagues, I think we have like 12 to 15 this year. Wonka's gone as early as like the 3rd round and has gone as late as the last round. This is like the movie that has like the biggest variance like across all leagues.
Lots of people have no confidence in it. I can understand. I think this is going to have mass appeal. I think it's coming out at the exact right time. It's going to be a crowd pleaser. It's going to have crafts, especially with Dune out of the way. This is going to be the Chalamet vehicle. It's going to be big.
I'm not doubting Paul King. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And brought us
Exactly.
Paddington
Yeah.
1 and 2.
If you're talking about IP-based original films from emerging auteurs now given a big budget, you got Barbie, you got Wonka.
Do you think the trailer,
Brothers.
like, do you like the trailer for Wonka?
It's all right. It's not the
Okay.
best,
Yeah, I don't-
Okay.
but I think the film
I'm just
will.
seeing how hyped up you actually are.
No, I'm not.
Or if you
I'm
just-
not. I'm not a huge fan of the Paddingtons.
What?
Oh, okay.
What?
Bro, come on.
Blasphemy.
Oh man. Veto.
They're
veto
fun.
that
They're
pick.
all right. You know, they're fun.
Austin, your turn here. Are you gonna? Honestly, I don't even know what I want here, so you can't even steal anything from me this round.
Yeah, so I think 2 years ago, I spent a first round pick on The Last Duel, and that ended up being a disaster. Really made me lose faith in Ridley Scott historical epics. Round 4, I think this is a little better value. Apple's behind it, Joaquin Phoenix. Like, it feels like this could be a big tech player at least, even if it kind of flops. So I'll take a shot on Napoleon.
I like
Value.
it. I like it. That's
good value.
Great
honestly
value
probably where I
here.
would go here too.
It
We
could
live
be
in a
big.
time where the Napoleon movie is round 4 material.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
Wonka
like-
got taken before it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we live in a
If this was like the year after Braveheart or something, Napoleon would have been like top 3. It's like what, number 30.
year after Gladiator. Oh, it's gone.
Last year, I made a big oopsie in round 4. I drafted I Want to Dance with Somebody because I was like, musical biopic. It could do something. I had Elvis though. So I feel like I got to keep the Elvis train rolling. Do I think this is going to be a best picture player? No, but I do have emerging faith in actress, some room in costumes, maybe production design, plus A24 shows last year. Even if you're not in picture, they can get that movie special surprise nominations on Oscar morning. So I'm going to go Priscilla here in round 4.
Well, I was going a different direction when you said I want to dance with somebody.
I mean, when you say that, that's another movie I was looking at here. Maybe not the exact same one, but in that same route of it would be like a 1 nomination or a bust sort of thing. But I learned last year, let's find some more things. Let's trust A24. And if anything, let's trust the Elvis brand.
I feel like there's a certain breed of boomers out there that are going to act as though a movie that presents Elvis as a pedophile is like someone shot their baby. They're going to act like the world is ending over this movie.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think if it was a mainstream movie that we would see that all over the place. Probably it mightn't even break out enough where you get those like weird people who are watching it and they're just like getting, shocked and like offended. But
I can see this
out there.
getting like 80s on Rotten Tomatoes and like a 5.4 on IMDb.
Yeah, exactly.
Up next, we have Film Drunk. And honestly, looking at the board here, I think you're probably winning the league. You have, I think, Ferrari, which I'm very high on, plus Oppenheimer. So what do you add into this list here in round number 4?
And I don't know. Let's see here. Let's use my brain. We're in the 4th round. I don't want to think too much about it. There's a chance this ends up being something. Who knows? I'm gonna take NYAD.
Ooh,
Nice.
sniping Matt here.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't care because you didn't take the one I wanted. I'm going to take the most popular movie at TIFF, the film that sold out before anyone had a chance to get tickets. I'm going to be taking a movie that people think could win the People's Choice Award, even though I think that's bullshit. There's no way this wins. This is a film by someone who means so much to me. I have 2 cats named after characters from this guy's movies, Totoro and Calcifer. I'm going to be taking Hayao Miyazaki's
How do you
The
live?
Boy
What?
and the Heron. There we go. I'm very happy with that, especially if it does end up winning People's Choice. After that, I am a little bit torn. There's a lot of things that I could do here, and I'm not really sure. Honestly, this is where I might have wanted to take NYAD if you didn't go with it, John. But instead, I think I have to go with a movie that I don't have any faith in, but Dylan, it's the one you were talking about earlier. It is an acting contender, potentially a song contender, and who knows, maybe it could be a little bit bigger than I'm giving it credit for, and that is Rustin.
I remember if we go super, super far back when we did some of our first predictions of the year, you had Boy and the Heron in Best Picture, and I also had Rustin in Best Picture. So see how far those have fallen just a few months later.
Last year, when Rustin was supposed to come out, I thought Coleman Domingo could win Best Actor, and then I heard a bunch of like, this movie's really mid reports. I don't know. I still think it's going to be mid, but even if it is, who knows? Coleman Domingo is a great actor, and he's in a few movies this year. Especially Color Purple could give him a boost in this, or this could give him a boost in Color Purple. Honestly, the thing that hurts it the most is the fact that Netflix just has so many films. Are they really going to prioritize all of them? No, they never do. Anyways, though, Jonathan, we're back to you. What are you taking next?
There is a movie theoretically that's on my long list for Best Picture, but I think that movie is going to get panned, whether rightfully so or not.
It will.
So I don't think I'm going to take it, even though I kind of want to. Do I just go with a money play here? I could wait for this one, but I'm going to hope another film comes around. I'm going to take, I think is going to get at least more than one nomination and has made a lot of money, I'm just gonna take Guardians 3.
That is a really good
Visual
pick,
effects and
especially.
makeup.
Do you think it's going to win visual effects now?
I have no clue. Visual effects, I'm so confused on now. Because if Oppenheimer gets in, I think it's winning, but it might not even get nominated.
I'll give you that. It's gonna do more points than Doctor Strange 2.
Yeah.
All right, Dylan, we're coming back to you. What are you taking next?
We go from one Disney film, let's go to another. There's a small chance this movie gets moved, but I think if it doesn't move, it has one award, not in the bag, but it's the front runner for, and it has another award I think is very solidly in there for a nomination. Possible song winner, very high up there in animated feature, Give Me Wish.
I think that's like almost exactly the spot in the draft where last year I took Strange World.
Hey, well, Wish isn't going to be that. Wish at least has the song. Strange World didn't have that.
Don't doubt Disney musicals unless they're Frozen 2.
All right, Austin, that brings it to you. And I mean, I think there's at least one big movie left on the board, but I think we all collectively agree we shouldn't touch this. So I'm really interested to see who does touch it.
Well, I don't know if this is the one everyone else is thinking of. You know what? I think it might be time for me to use my one called Shot. I used it on After Sun last year, used it on Coda 2 years ago. This year I'm using it on One Life, starring Anthony Hopkins.
Nice.
I think this movie could be big. You can go on YouTube and look up this guy, Nicholas Winton. He went on like a talk show in like the 80s talking about how he like helped smuggle kids out of Nazi Germany during the war. And at one point they asked like if anyone here in the audience has ever been helped by this man, stand up. And like the whole crowd stands up. It's going to be like the big emotional climax of the movie, and the orchestra is going to swell and everyone in the crowd's going to cry. And I think older voters are going to eat that up.
I'm going to admit, I didn't read the synopsis for this at all. And now that you describe it, I'm like, oh my God, this is literally like Sound of Freedom before Academy voters.
Sound of Freedom and Schindler's List had a baby.
Okay, I can vibe with it.
Arnaud, what are you acting on here? Because I feel like there's a movie that seems up your alley, but I don't know if you're going to go with it just quite yet.
Yeah, I think this is going to be the exact same scenario where I kind of want to pick this. It's really at this point in time, it is not an Oscar contender, but maybe by the time it premieres, it's going to be like, oh, this is now on our radar, and of course, this is an Oscar contender. It's excellent. Maybe it's not going to be that. Maybe I can take this later. Maybe I think the rest of the picks for me in this draft will be something like that. This is one of the films that is selling the best at TIFF. This is the return of Richard Linklater. This is Hitman.
I'm not sure how to feel about this one yet.
Me neither.
I don't know how to feel about any of his movies. He's so hit or miss.
Where'd you go, Bernadette?
This is doing the rounds though. This is doing Telluride, Toronto, New York. It's doing a lot of them. So
I feel like this is gonna be a good movie, even if it doesn't like take off with awards. But I think that was in like the tier of films that I'm thinking about choosing from. I'm just gonna
correct myself. It's not going to Telluride. It's doing Venice first. Venice, then Toronto, then New York.
So this is good confidence, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to take a couple swings now. This is probably like super random, but I'm gonna go with Sing Sing from TIFF, which is very random. But it's one of the more intriguing titles that I just have no idea. Like there's no filmmaker talent behind it that makes me think, oh, that's gonna happen. But it's an intriguing concept. I have no idea. Mm-hmm. That's probably a throwaway.
Worst case scenario, you trade it away for something better next waiver.
Well, let's see. I'm gonna go for. I'll just do Pain Hustlers, I guess. Another TIFF movie that. I mean, maybe it could be like a last resort for Netflix. I don't think it's an award. It sounds like an awards thing, but I don't know if it could be like a populist movie somehow. It seems kind of like the movie Hustlers.
This could be similar to I Care a Lot.
Or Good Nurse. All right, now we're back to you, Arnaud. What are you picking? We're now halfway down.
I'm going to apologize to you specifically in advance, Matt, because I'm pretty sure you want this for the next round.
Are you fucking taking American
I think we're reading. No, I guess not. Okay, well, I'll let John or Austin take that for you.
Maybe one of you guys will take it.
So I'm taking a film. So in these past few years, we've seen a trend. We've seen a documentary getting nominated for Best International Film and Best Documentary. Last year, it did not happen. Broke that trend that was going on for 3 years, but I think it'll come back this year with Four Daughters.
That's what I wanted. So you stole that from me, not Matt.
Great film. Very good film. I don't care. Austin, are you going to take the film that I just said, or are you going to go your own way?
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to go for that. I think I'll leave that up for you. I still have El Conde on here, but it didn't get picked by Chile, so now I'm not as confident about it. I think I'll follow up with another documentary. won an award at Sundance, probably gonna at least get a nomination, if not be in contention, and that's 20 Days in Mariupol.
Oh.
This one felt like it had the acclaim that it needs to, and the subject matter, obviously.
I think it's a runaway winner, personally. I don't know. I haven't seen Beyond Utopia, Justin. I know you've seen both, but I think that 20 Days in Mariupol just floored me in a way that I don't see how you could watch that movie and not have it like leave a mark on your soul.
I'm intrigued that you think it could win because of how just bleak it is. Yeah, I mean, even Navalny is a film that like makes you laugh and sort of clap at points. So I'm like, okay, yeah, dark subject matter, and then it kind of can leave you with a message of hope or something to cling on to. And then that movie, I don't know if I can think of a better example of something that leaves you with absolutely no shred of feeling good, which is appropriate, and it was very powerful and moving. Like, I agree with that.
Mhm.
But I think it could get a nomination with that. And I mean, maybe people feel so passionate about the subject that it wins. But Beyond Utopia has that mix for me, that the right amount of both.
I completely get what you're saying about the hopelessness of it, but they say it in the film, this is impossible footage to look at, but you can't look away. And I think that's how voters will feel about it, that it's so important that even if it's painful to watch, it's still so powerful that like, why would you want to look away?
It's a weird battle of like, I wanted to leave the theater. Like, I actually wanted to like get up and like leave because it was so disturbing. But I was like, well, I really shouldn't, because that I agree with the premise that I should be sitting here and watching this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The difference, I think, between 20 Days in Mariupol and previous documentary winners is that it lacks a very central main character, but it makes perfect sense to have Ukraine be represented with a win more than once.
Right,
I'm
Dylan.
up next, Matt. Sorry, I'm sniping you. American Fiction. It's
Oh,
here.
fuck.
It's lasted
There you
long
go.
enough.
God
I
damn
feel
it.
I feel like it has to come off the board.
Oh shit. Okay, I need to rethink. Oh shit.
I told you somebody else would take it.
I mean, originally I was gonna go with Mariupol, so now that went, and Four Daughters, those are the three I were looking at here. So I was like, it's the only one left of my top three, so I might as well take it here. Even though I feel like I probably could have waited, but it sounds like Jonathan won it, so good thing I took it now.
Yeah.
When you said
I was
Mariupol
gonna
for a second, I thought you were saying Mario Brothers.
I mean,
And I was
hey,
like, that would be perfect to have on
That-
the team, on the same team.
How is
that could
no
be-
one
that could be
taken
the
that
next
yet?
pick.
Peach's best original
Song
song.
sweeper, an animated sweeper, box office sweeper.
What round are we in right now? 6?
6.
Do I do it?
Do it. Do it.
I was thinking about it, so it
Do
may
I
be
do it?
time. It may be time.
This is a mistake. I'm gonna take next goal wins.
There we go.
You did
go.
it.
It lasted long enough.
There's still another one on the board that's like ooh, who's gonna do it? I'm not gonna do it. But yeah, next goal wins is great value just because there's the chance that it's not the greatest beer run.
Yeah, there's a
ever.
chance. Right, there's a chance.
there's a
I mean,
chance.
I don't
The
even think
greatest
it would be
beer
a
run
beer
ever.
run. I know we talked about before, Matt, but I think this would be like Bardo, where everything that the director Taika Waititi's involved in, like AGI last year, is what will get like knocked on or hated on just because those directors aren't really in the positive limelight. While the other stuff the movie will have room to shine with Bardo is the cinematography, the production design, and then here with Next Goal Wins, it will be the acting performance for Fassbender or Will Arnett or just the ensemble as a whole.
It's true. I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to this movie. I just think critics are going to shit all over it. They're going to put out the
I
hit on
agree.
this one, but I think it's going to be
100%.
an entertaining, fun time. Which leads me to my next pick, which I'm really surprised is actually still on the board here. This is a movie that we've seen. It might not be a huge contender on our mind right now, but there is another movie by this director coming out later this year. When that comes out, it's very possible this gets a little bit of a boost in some of those technical categories, and that is Asteroid City.
I think there's a chance like critics could really push it. When I think about what might be like the top 10 favorite movies for critics, I actually think Asteroid City has a good shot of being in there, because I think it grows on you in a second viewing, and it's more of a Wes Anderson critic appealing film than some of his others, so it could get pushed.
I completely agree. Like, I think this movie could have a bit of a resurgence. Is it going to be a Grand Budapest level thing? This doesn't have that level of love, but it's a movie that definitely does grow on people. It's very charming, and I can definitely see an angle for one 2, maybe even 3 nominations. I mean, original screenplay is weak as shit this year. What if it gets in there? There are a lot of nominations across the board that this possibly could get. For my next pick, I'm a little bit torn. There's a few films here that I could go for, and I don't know exactly what I want to do. Screw it. I'm going to take a leap of faith on Fingernails. Reason for that being it is remarkably popular at TIFF. It's like selling out. Apple is behind it. I know they're behind a ton of stuff this year. I've heard it described as an eternal sunshine for the age of smartphones, which is really intriguing. I think it could be a real shocker to all of us in the way that The Favorite a few years ago kind of came out of nowhere. Actually, more accurately, The Lobster, because before then, Yorgos Lanthimos had only done Greek films up until The Lobster. And likewise, Fingernails is from one of Yorgos Lanthimos' proteges, so another Greek weird wave director. This could be big. I'm not expecting it to be, but hey, we're in round 7 right now. I can take a few risks.
Apple has a lot to juggle this year, but maybe this is like they're more like indie contender because everything else is pretty high budget.
Damn,
It's true.
you really did it to me there.
All right, Jonathan, where are you taking us next?
Well, I was gonna take you to Fingernails, but
I'm
see
sorry.
here.
Man.
Let's see. No, it's all good.
I mean,
It's
you
all
have next
good.
goal wins. It sounds like you should pair something really dumb with it.
Who's gonna do it?
I'm good on that one. I'll wait when it comes around. I guess I'm just gonna take another swing. I mean, at this point, these are all swings. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm gonna put my hand with Kate Winslet in the hopes that Lee is something. It's a war movie with Kate Winslet, who apparently this is like one of her passion projects or something. War movies,
Golden
they
Globe.
love that shit. So, oh yeah, facts.
Golden
Yeah,
Globe
so
Best
I'll
Actress.
take
That's
Lee.
it.
Lock that one in. That's for sure.
Yeah, you know,
Surprise-
I think Lee is appealing, but I was looking this up while I was on this call, and I was like, Sky Cinema is distributing this and produced it. I'm like, I don't know anything that they've made. You can no takesies backsies. But I was like, it made me go, oh, I don't know if I can get stuck with that. But I do feel like it has the profile, and then I don't know what the Sky Cinema thing is that's happening. But
Isn't
hey,
that
I
a
don't know.
UK company?
Yes.
Does it have? Does Lee have a US distributor, or is it just Sky Cinema
Oh,
doing
that's
it
a good-
in the US as well?
That's a good question. It might be looking for a US distributor at TIFF. That's possible.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so.
Let's hope.
That puts me in a little bit of a pickle here where I wasn't really looking at those movies. There's 2 movies that are at the top of my board right now. One, I'm very confident it's making it back to me. The other one, I'm not so much of, but I think the one I'm not as sure if it will come back, maybe the better performing one overall. So I think I may will just double up here of animated feature because I was looking at some scores from last year, and even though you could get nominated across the board everywhere at animated feature, but you don't win, you still rack up between like 180 to like 220 points. So I feel kind of good with having that on my roster here. So give me Pixar's Elemental.
I know
Yeah.
you're really
Comeback
passionate
of
about
the
that
sword.
movie, so like it makes sense for you to have it on your team.
I feel like I could wait another round, but I was like, I might as well take it here because the other movie I'm even more sure I can wait on.
All right. Well, that would have been my pick this round, I think, because I don't.
I'm glad I took it.
Not super passionate about anything else that's left on the board. Yeah, I think I'll take a chance on this one. And this director is really hit or miss. Hasn't really done anything Oscar relevant in a while. The premise looks intriguing. The release date is good. So I'm going to go with George Clooney, The Boys in the Boat.
Oh,
Nice.
Is that
Interesting.
coming
Right
out
here.
this year?
It's scheduled to come out on December 25th. So yeah.
Not gonna lie, I didn't know of this film's existence until now.
same here. Now I'm looking it up. I was like, what the hell?
I
This
only
is
know of
something
it
I came
because
across today.
you and Cole mentioned it like once 6 months
Yep.
ago.
I was going through my Oscar list, and it was at like on the bottom mix somewhere, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I guess that's not coming out, but it could still come out. I don't know. It was just
It
my
could.
assumption because I was like,
But,
there's no
hey.
peep from it, but it could come out.
That's why we have the waivers this year. If you pick something, you take a little bit of a risk, it doesn't come out. Guess what? You can replace it once we get to those first ones. But Boys in the Boat taken. So Arnaud, what are you going with right here?
This is, I think, a good. I mean, I missed All of Us Strangers, So I kind of want a British film on my team. And there's this tutorial coming out soon called How to Have Sex that I've been really looking forward to. It's not going to be big enough or have enough of a place as After Sun to make an impact on the BAFTAs, but it's going to go to BIFAs. It's probably going to go to Indie Spirits. From what I hear, this is a film that is going to have people talking. It'll leave a mark on you. So I hope that voters will keep that mark and apply it to their ballots. Oh, and debut films, right? This is definitely going to be in the runnings of debut films, maybe even more so than Rye Lane.
I'm gonna do Foe, even though I wouldn't predict it for anything right now, but the trailer looks pretty spicy. I'm gonna do Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, since I feel like that's pretty much a sure animated feature.
I hope.
That's probably gonna get nominated.
Okay.
That's all I got.
There's only one film this year. There's no film that is doing all 4 fall festivals, so all from Venice to New York. But there is only one film right now that is doing the big 3: Venice, Telluride, Toronto, and that is Denmark's The Promised Land. I don't think this is more than an international contender, but I think it's at this point almost a guaranteed slot. Denmark just shortlisted it right now. Denmark never screws up their submission, so they're going to submit it. Maybe this will win a prize at Venice. Maybe Mads Mikkelsen will get some Best Actor hype again.
I can't wait for that movie. All right, Austin, you're up next.
Well, I have to apologize in advance here to Matt because I have a feeling he would have taken it if this got around to him.
Oh.
And it is a film that I am passionate about.
I'm not going to say what it is.
You've already
but
seen, but I think you know. I think you know. I have to snipe the Canada film from you. I'm taking BlackBerry.
Oh, fuck you. I'm going back to Waterloo, where the vampires hang out.
Dude, that's the only thing I want this year is I want Glenn Howerton to get nominated to supporting actor. Please, anywhere. Critics' Choice, even.
Well, you may want Glenn Howard to get a supporting actor nominee, but I want Tiana Taylor to get a Best Lead Actress nominee, so give me 1,001 here. Last year, this is the spot that I took Ana de Armas and Blonde. We saw how that turned out. I don't think this is doing the same thing, but round 7, this is a good spot to take a risk on some outside actress chances. Maybe she can pick up some critic stuff along the ways, but I don't think she's going all the way to the Oscar.
That's my dark horse I'm rooting for this year is her in Best Actress.
Well, last time around, Jonathan, you talked about maybe taking a risk on some great movie here with pick 47, but what are you actually going to take here?
This could be a mistake, but at this point, it's fine. Because depending on what they actually submit, this could be a repeat of last year, even. But I think the reviews are stronger for this film versus his last year. So I'm going to take Monster. It was messed up for Matt to take The Boy and the Heron right before half Japanese person would have taken it, but I had to get one thing, so there's still a chance, animated live action, it's tough, but I'll take Monster.
Good movie.
Does anyone else think that's going to be the pick from Japan?
I really don't know.
I say no. I've
I've
done some research into Japan's selection process, and I'm just gonna say, Japan does not double up on their submissions that often. In the entire 21st century so far, there's only been 2 directors that they've submitted more than once, and Koreeda already is one of them. There's only 5 directors in all of Japan's submissions ever since the 1950s. Only 5 directors have been submitted more than twice. So Koreeda would be joining a very, very small rank. People might say it's a coincidence Japan does this, but there's no other countries that avoid selecting repeats the way that Japan does.
I think right now for Japan, people are kind of tossing up 3 films: Monster, Boy and the Heron, Evil Does Not Exist. I'm going to say right now, I think it's going to be something we completely out of that box that we don't expect.
Great.
They're going to do what Korea did this year with Concrete Utopia and just pull out something out of their hat. It's going to be something completely random. Or Perfect Days.
All right. Next pick here. Do I go with the meme pick? I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know.
But the other meme pick. Go with the other meme pick here.
There's a couple meme picks here, and I don't know. I feel obligated at this point. There's one movie that has great value here, but we all think it's gonna be shit. But it's round 8 right now. I could take a movie that's going to be shit and I could drop it later. But do I want to? Do I want to take the shitty movie?
Take it.
Someone has to.
Yeah.
But do I want that to be me? I took Amsterdam last year. I don't know. I could take
Yeah,
the
that was
shitty
fire.
movie.
Hey, I
Actually-
think I was predicting Amsterdam for one nomination on the night before Oscars. So
It
True.
almost got it. It was probably
It
number
almost,
6.
almost.
Oh, I think it should have gotten that makeup nomination, honestly. You know what? I'm gonna fucking
it.
blow your minds here. All right.
No,
give
wait, don't do
me-
it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Give me back to back Dumb Money
Don't do it.
and
Holy shit.
Sound of Freedom.
Boom, boom, boom. There we go. It has
There
been,
we go.
It's been taken.
I
What-
legitimately think
what
there is a
picks?
strong chance Sound of
Oh,
Freedom
yeah.
becomes a fucking thing. This is the conservative RRR.
You guys need to clip that for like social media or whatever you guys do. Just the back-to-back pics of Dumb Money and Sound of
Dumb
Freedom.
Money,
You need to
Sound
clip
of
that.
Freedom.
People will click this video.
Holy
Wow,
shit.
that's great. Oh, man.
Jonathan, how are you following that up? I mean, Dumb Money, Sound of Freedom. I don't know how you can go more out there than that.
Gosh, yeah.
wait, did anyone
I-
else see Sound of Freedom? I actually saw it.
I
did.
haven't seen it.
I
How
haven't
is it?
because I feel like it's a
It's-
lose-lose for me.
It's fine. I mean,
It's not a monster of a like conservative agenda QAnon movie that some people say it is, and it's also not really much at all. It's not
Mhm.
really like a great movie. It's just okay. I don't understand anything that anyone has said about the movie like whatsoever.
Bill Camp
Yeah.
is actually pretty good in it.
Yeah, that's true. There's a couple of good things about the movie. Like the score was good. Bill Camp was good.
So what we're saying is 6 nominations.
Oh yeah, it's this year's American Sniper. It's
Yeah,
it's
it's this
occurred
year.
to me though. It's not like I haven't thought, maybe that could, but I don't think like conservative people have any power, and it's been so like hammered into the dirt by like mainstream outlets that I don't know if it can come back from like just a terrible reputation.
This is the angle in my mind. At the end of the year, Angel Studios has made this fucking truckload of money from this. What if they start
Yeah.
taking out ads everywhere that's like the important movie of the year that they don't want you to see or something like that?
Yeah,
They
I
start
actually
pushing
agree
it-
with that.
They start pushing it in every outlet, Vanity Fair, Variety, IndieWire, everywhere. No matter where you go, you're seeing ads for Sound of Freedom. Are there 5% of Academy voters that are going to go, oh, yeah, I guess they don't want me to vote for that. Well, fuck you. I'm putting it number 1.
It would be
Is
such a
that
hilarious
possible?
takeover. It is. I think that's possible. I think like close to likely is that Angel Studios puts like 5 or 10 million behind campaigning it. I wouldn't be that
Yeah.
surprised. That's them running with a movie that they just did not think was going to do this well at all. Like they have a boatload of cash that they never thought that they would have their hands on. They may as well like milk it for everything it's got and try to be
Mhm.
like an Oscar nominated studio.
It's also
Yeah.
the indie film success story of the year. It's grossed
Absolutely.
more than Indiana
Yeah.
Jones and Mission Impossible domestically. That's
Yeah.
insane. There is an angle to this even beyond the conservative agenda thing or whatever. Whereas it's just like, if you like indie cinema, look at this success story.
People don't like doing what they're told. And I think the fact that this has been trashed so much all over the place could honestly give it a bit of an edge. Some people might say, oh, well, yeah, it wasn't that bad. Or like, screw you. I want to vote for it. I liked it. They're going to remember it because
The
of
people
that.
who
So-
liked it see the half-star reviews that are completely dunking on the film beyond its qualities and are thinking, hey, that's like, no, this is a good film. What are you talking
Mm.
about?
I mean, if they do it, they got to use it. They got to use the angle.
See what happens when Dune Part 2 gets delayed. Just a conversation like like we just had right there. I can start going for some movies I'm like actually pretty interested in that might. I think this is like a 1 nomination thing and a surprise hit. I'm gonna take The Creator.
Good pick.
Actually looks pretty interesting the more I see about it. Looks pretty good.
Visual effects, possible winner. I think you've got the visual
Yeah.
effects winner on your team. Oppenheimer, Creator,
Thank you.
Guardians.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
true.
yeah.
huh?
Good
Let's
point.
go. That's mine. Mine's in the
Oh,
bag.
that's a boatload of points.
Now that The Creator's gone, I'm a big John David Washington fan, so I was really hoping for that. But Matt just went with 2 crazy movies, and we have waivers this year. I'm going to have to drop something because I want to eventually get into the waivers. So let me go with a movie that at the moment, it doesn't look like it's this year. But, crazier things can happen. This movie could get a qualifying run late December. So give me Bob Marley.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Round 9. I'm cool with losing a pick here and picking up something random in October, November, but I'll hold on to this until we see if it's officially not coming out this year.
That's a smart pick. Like, even if
Good bet.
this winds up being an I want to dance with somebody, at least you got it like 9th round. And if it becomes more than that, then you just stole. That was a steal.
It's Sound of Metal Part 2, just a few years
Nah,
later.
nah, absolutely not. What are you talking about?
But Austin, you're up here. What are you going with your second to last pick?
Well, I've already taken a documentary, but there's another documentary that I have my eye on here. It's already out. It came out on Netflix last month, and I liked it quite a bit. I think I've heard complaints that it's like overly sentimental and kind of saccharine, but it really worked for me, and that's The Deepest Breath.
I also like The Deepest Breath a lot.
The kind of math, statistic wizard part of my brain tells me, no, this is a documentary that was in the premiere section of Sundance. Those do not get nominated. The last one in the past 15 years is RBG. It's the only one in the past 15 years to be nominated from that program. The documentaries that come from Sundance that are nominated are in the competitive categories, whether it's world cinema or domestic. That's why we're talking about 20 Days in Mariupol, Beyond Utopia, and Eternal Memory in particular. So The Deepest Breath, I guarantee you it's not going to get nominated.
Damn.
I don't know if I'd say guarantee.
Bold.
It's like a big sports movie, some good thrills in there. It could really appeal to the Academy. I don't know if it will, but it could.
It has Netflix behind it.
Mm-hmm. And A24.
So.
All right, so you just put his pick down. So go ahead and make your pick so then Austin can make fun of yours.
Well, unfortunately, Sound of Freedom is off the board. I'm kidding. I wouldn't have picked that. I think I'll go with an indie film. There's a few I think might be able to score more points than this, but the fact that it was bought for so much money at this year's Sundance just gives me hope that maybe Netflix is gonna want to push this one a little bit more, at least in certain domains. We'll see how this performs. It's coming out, I think, on the platform early October. Looks like it's a very accessible, very entertaining film. Let's see how Fair Play plays.
Yeah, I hope it gets Best Actress hype.
Yeah, she's good.
Lead performances are crazy in that movie.
Yeah.
Apparently this and Oppenheimer is the return of Alden Ehrenreich.
Yeah, he's really good in
so.
Fair Play.
I'm
Not
all
gone
for it.
anywhere.
I'm gonna go for a film I think is gonna do well, possibly an international. I think it's at festivals. I don't know if it's a TIFF, but I think it's at Venice. The Green Border. It's from a director who has had nominations before for international feature. And the subject matter also leads me to believe that this is going to get in.
I'm a little surprised that was the international film you went with. There was one you were talking up earlier this year that I was kind of expecting.
I actually don't think I have that on my list, whatever it is. I might be blanking though. So you might have to just take advantage of the white space.
I'm not going to take it, but
okay.
I'm a little surprised.
So the other film I'm going to take is, oh wait, actually, no, maybe this is the film. I'm going to take El Conde.
Oh no,
is that what you're thinking of?
No.
Okay.
Now,
El Conde is not getting nominated for international feature. It has not been submitted. The Settlers from Chile has been submitted instead, but I don't think The Settlers will get nominated because I heard from Cole, the Oscar expert, that it was slow. He didn't give it a good chance because he said he fell asleep. So he's not official. He has not officially he hasn't an official take on the movie, but he just says oh yeah, it's probably slow. It's not gonna get nominated. What do you think, having seen it?
It's slow, but it's devastating. It's a movie that for me, afterwards, I kind of sat there and I wasn't sure how I felt about it. And then days and days afterwards, it just kept lingering. And I actually went back and rewatched my screener the last 30 minutes to just let it sink in. It haunted me for a long time. I want to watch it again. I think it's going to get shortlisted. I don't think it's going to get nominated.
I think we can expect a return to soul type performance with this film where it'll be nominated in some other areas. Yeah. Critics will absolutely eat this up, but it won't actually make it to the Oscars. But El Conde could still get a cinematography nomination, not too similarly to Bardo. Or you're picking El Conde this year, just like you picked Athena last year, and it does the exact same performance where it only plays Venice, comes out immediately on Netflix, and nobody talks about it again.
But this is Pablo Larraín.
We all make mistakes,
So Arnaud, it's time for your mistake here. Final pick. Let's hear it.
I'm actually openly admitting that this is going to be a mistake and I'm going to trade it away right away. But for my last pick, I want to do a passion pick, and there is one of my favorite filmmakers working today is Michel Franco, and so I'm crossing my fingers. I can't wait to see his brand new film Memory.
I'm glad you got that. It's a passion pick. It might not be a thing, maybe it will be. Good pick.
It's not going to be a thing, but there's like 0.5% chance that like Peter Sarsgaard gets some hype.
Jessica
or
Chastain,
you know?
who knows? Yeah.
Maybe I'll just win a prize at Venice and nothing else, but I'll still be like decent points.
All right, Austin, that brings it to you. What's going to be your last pick here?
It's round 10, so it's not really too high pressure if these films flop. So I think I'll go for another Venice premiere, the new Ava DuVernay film that just
Good one.
I didn't know anything about
Nice.
until I heard it announced. That's Origin.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, same.
That could be big. We don't know anything about it.
That was when I was definitely eyeing last round when I took Bob Marley. And I was like, maybe it can last around 10, but it goes right before me. There's one movie I'm shocked is still here. I already have 2 movies that are similar to that one, so I don't want to stack with 3. There's a passion pick still left on the board, but like Arnaud mentioned before, I don't think anyone's going to touch Rye Lane later in the season. And then there's one international movie I'm predicting right now in my lineup, but I feel like I can wait for a while, so I'm not going to pick that here. So if my last round pick, why not add to everyone going with their movies that they love or that they want to see do something? So give me something that I hope to see in costumes and maybe a short list for something else and maybe even a visual effects nomination, and that is The Little Mermaid.
I mean, fair.
Yeah.
It's round 10. It could hit 200 points, but at minimum, it's going to have like 100 or so. And that's something I can easily slide out in like November, December.
And maybe Halle Bailey gets a comedy actress at Golden
Yes.
Globes,
Oh,
and
that's
then maybe
true.
it gets visual effects, right? So there you go.
Yeah, I'm right now. I have it in for visual effects. I have it like costumes, like number 9, number 10, where I think we'll get shortlisted, but I don't think we'll make it in. But I also do have her in my Golden Globe lineup.
Now, Jonathan, bring us home. What's your final round pick right here?
Well, I was thinking of taking Chicken Run because I don't have anything
that is
for
still on the
animated.
board.
That's when I was just talking about. I was like, I want this makes sense, but I already have 2 other animated movies.
Yeah, I don't have any animated, so I was thinking Chicken Run because they usually get in, but the chaos agent in me kind of wants to go with something that could like completely off the radar, even though I could just wait. Yeah, I'll take a swing. I mean, some people seem to actually be higher on it than I am, but I think a trailer just came out for it. Even though this director is liked outside of his stint with Jurassic World, I'll take his new movie, Society of the Snow. It's the movie about the flight that crashed. That sounds really insensitive. I don't remember the flight, but the real life flight that crashed. It looks interesting. I don't know if All Quiet is just messing with my brain this year.
I didn't even catch this trailer. Yeah, I gotta watch this.
J.A. Bayona exploiting another tragedy after the impossible.
Yeah.
It's a
There
genre,
you go.
honestly. You could make it a Netflix subcategory. J.A. Bayona exploits tragedy survivors.
Well, Matt,
All right.
you have the last pick here, and if you want to continue with your meme stuff, there is. I mean, Dune's not coming out this year, but Discount Dune is still on the board.
No, so
Oh,
I thought about it.
I mean, there's a lot still on the
Magazine
board.
Dreams is still on the board.
Oh,
There you go.
I'll run through some of the movies that are still on the board that I'm not going to take. Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, which could be a Golden Globe comedy player. Could pick up some critics awards, build some steam with indie awards. I'm not going to take that, though. We also left, as you guys mentioned, Chicken Run as well. All Dirt Road's Taste of Salt is playing at New York and is going to get some indie buzz through the season. There's also the movie I was talking about for you, Justin, About Dry Grasses. I was a little surprised you didn't take the Turkish film there. Also, A24's The Iron Claw. No one took it. I also don't have faith in that, so I don't really care to leave that behind. There's like quite a few films that we've left on the table here that we could go back and grab a little bit later when we start to manage our teams.
There's another A24 film too.
Oh yeah, Dream Scenario. That's another one that could possibly be a thing. Self-promo there. Shameless plug, Arnaud. But I'm going to take a movie that's playing at TIFF, and this feels like Still Alice to me. Where back in 2014, This movie played at TIFF that it didn't seem like anyone was really like that high on. It was kind of just there, but it was a total Julianne Moore vehicle. And then when people saw it, it was just absolutely undeniable. And this year, there's a film at TIFF that stars a certain actor who was nominated one time, like 16 years ago. And this person has the first potential to be nominated in both lead categories because Elliot Page is in a film called Close to You. This is Elliot Page's big comeback movie. I don't know. I don't think he really went anywhere, but this is a film that I could see it plays at TIFF and absolutely explodes. Could become like undeniable for Best Actor once it gets seen.
That's
Solid
that. I
take
mean,
there.
last year you went bold with Matilda. I think you did a little bit better here than last year with your last pick.
Yeah, I think so too. Matilda didn't work out for me, but that's
I mean,
fine.
I like your pitch. You're convincing me a little bit. I have a question about two other picks that we're not picking from Neon: The Royal Hotel and Eileen. Do you guys have any faith in that?
Eileen is dead, in my opinion, from having seen it at Sundance. If anything, it would get like an Anne Hathaway supporting, but I don't think that's going to happen. That movie is for a very specific crowd. Having seen The Assistant, I don't know about that one, but I'm really looking forward to it. It's one of my most anticipated for TIFF. From TIFF, I also have on my, in the dugout, I've got The Burial and One Life. There's a lot of stuff at TIFF that has high profile actors in it that
Yeah.
I'm like, is this garbage or is this actually good?
I'm curious about Pool Man, the Chris Pine
Yeah,
Pool Man
directorial
too.
debut. It's
That
sold
actually
out.
looks good. That's one that I think is actually going to be good. Hey,
That
what about
brings us-
Golda, by the way?
Shit.
Helen Mirren, makeup.
I mean,
Anyone?
I wouldn't be shocked if that makes the makeup at the end of the year solo nomination.
yeah.
I think it's definitely being shortlisted.
We are now at the very end of our draft. And before we sign off, I want to hear from you guys. At this point, how are you all feeling about your teams? Are you feeling better than last year, worse than last year? Where are you feeling that you wish things went differently? Let's start it off. Dylan, how are you feeling tonight?
You know, I was kind of upset with the first few rounds. As I mentioned, I made like a little list of what I wanted, and looking at this sheet now, I think I got two movies in the rounds where I was looking at them overall for the draft. I'm not upset with my team. Kills of Flower Moon's gonna be a top scorer. Zone of Interest should pull its weight here as a second round pick. I'm higher in May December than a lot of people are. I think this has above the line play, even if it doesn't have to be in picture. Priscilla could surprise. I have faith in Wish, Elemental, and a Bob Marley comes out. That could be a very much a dime in the rough, but I think my team has a lot of boom bust potential where it could go high, it could go low. But I said the same thing last year. And if you take out Bardo and you put in Maverick or Fablemans, I was only like a few 100 points behind you. I had 3 best picture stuff. Just everything around it was not as strong.
Justin, how are you feeling today?
If I had to bet, I would say I probably have one Best Picture nominee in here between The Holdovers and Spider-Verse. Obviously knew I wasn't getting Oppenheimer or Barbie, but those would have been my top priority. But I'm a little happy that I think I have the animated feature sweeper, and I think I might have the documentary feature sweeper with Beyond Utopia. So I might have a couple Oscar wins here.
Austin, how are you feeling?
Man, I just hope I get one Best Picture nominee this year. That's all I'm asking.
Oh,
That
Rip,
was
man.
brutal last year, but
I mean, you may not want to ask Matt. I think he has you getting 0 at the moment.
yeah, a couple of them. I don't really have a workhorse, like a guaranteed in there, but I have a lot of like high potential stuff that could jump up. So we'll see. I feel okay.
Past Lives is doing well. It's going to do well. All right, Jonathan, how are you feeling?
You know, feel pretty good. Started off pretty strong for me. Did not expect to get Oppenheimer, and honestly, I would have taken Killers of the Flower Moon if you took Oppenheimer. I wasn't even thinking about Barbie, to be fair. Maybe a mistake. Honestly, I don't remember what I picked outside of the first 3 rounds.
And Arnaud, how are you feeling?
Well, I didn't get 2 of the films I really wanted on my team, at least. I'm not as confident as I was last year, but clearly I should not have been confident last year. Maybe this is a good sign, kind of like how last year you felt like shit after the draft, but you ended up winning by a landslide. But I'm looking at these teams, and right now I really think it's, again, between Matt and Jonathan, and that's annoying me because I don't want this to be a repeat of last year.
My
There's-
prediction is whoever has Oppenheimer, I know it's Jonathan, but it was whoever has Oppenheimer is going to win.
Raise hands. Who has Oppenheimer winning Best Picture right now?
5-1.
And I was on your team with Everything Everywhere last year.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Yeah, I think last year was like half of us were
Could
there
be.
for Everything Everywhere. I'm
At
repping
worst,
the Avatar
Oppenheimer
shirt.
performs like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. At best, it's like Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, or something.
Titanic.
To be
So
fair, I
it's good.
do like Barbie more than Oppenheimer personally. I
Yeah, where
actually
we-
am on Team Barbie personally. So
I didn't
But
adore
we-
either, but I would give the edge to Oppenheimer.
We are at the very end of our draft today. I want to thank you guys all for joining us. It is so nice to have you guys all back for us a second year in a row. May the best team win.
I just want to thank everyone for being here today. I want to thank everyone out there for watching us. If you made it this far, definitely let us know down below. Which team do you think has the edge up front? And you can say Jonathan because he has Oppenheimer, but I want to hear which full team, because there's like the drafts we do here. It's just not about your number one. It's about everything you have here. What do you think was the biggest steal, the biggest sleeper, or what's going to be the biggest bust? I mean, we had the Sun last year. I had Bardo last year. So who knows? Maybe Kills with Flower Moon just flops across the board. It's not, but maybe it does.
And as always, my name is Matt.
My name is Dyl, and this is Fantasy Filmball.